Welcome in to another episode of my Dynasty Fantasy Football YouTube. Today I'm looking at some Dynasty sells. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's go. So, the first player, Courtland Sutton, and I'm choosing to discuss him because he's in the news, which opens a sell window. Players who are in the news are often sells. He recently signed a 4-year, $92 million contract extension with $41 million guaranteed. Now, on paper, this runs through 2029, his age 34 season. I'm not believing that. We have to also read the fine print. What this contract really did, we see 41 million guaranteed. It's a big number, right? But what it does is it guarantees the 14 million he had for this year. They were going to pay him that. It's not like they were cutting Courtland Sutton. So the 14 million for this year, that is now guaranteed. So that's one thing it did. Then it added 27 million of guarantees of the other 92 million. When you put it that way, it's not that much. And basically, this is a 1-year extension. They're overpaying him for 1 year. And after 2026, they can move on. No problem. Now, last year, Sutton was fine. 81 catches, 1,081 yards, 8 touchdowns, 135 targets, 4.8 catches, and 63.6 yards a game. It's actually his best season in the NFL. 2019 was close, but this was the best. Way better than what he'd done the previous 3 years. He averaged 13.8 PPR points a game, 29th among wide receivers. He's fine, but he didn't do much in the first half of the season. It was all in the second half of the season. And let's be honest. Do we really think Courtland Sutton broke out and became someone different at age 29? I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. So let's take a look. Over the second half, the final 10 games, he averaged 6 catches and 80.4 yards a game. Again, that would pace for 102 catches, 1,167 yards, and 10 touchdowns over a 17-game season. He's never done anything like that in the NFL previously. We have a huge sample size of him being in the NFL. 6 previous years, nothing like that. And it just feels like a hot streak to me. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. The Broncos added Evan Ingram and Pat Bryant to the mix this offseason. Normally, I would say targets are earned, so it's not going to affect Sutton all that much. But in this case, we have 6 years of Sutton playing a lot. It's not like, say, a Jawan Jennings who didn't get the opportunity to play. This is a player who he had lots of opportunity. He was a starter for years and years and years. Lots of opportunity. Never earned a lot of targets. Never averaged more than 4.5 catches a game in any season. So it feels like an outlier for Sutton. And his new contract gives you kind of one final sell window in Dynasty. A nice contract. But if people don't read that into it, they're not going to see what the contract really is. It's really adding 1 year. So it's not that exciting. Now, how to sell Courtland Sutton. I saw 3 deals in the Dynasty Daddy trade database. All done after the extension. 3 deals. Number 1, Sutton and a 26 second for 26 first. This would be my first choice. This would be my first choice. This would be what I would look to do. Now, I have no Sutton, obviously. I've been out on Sutton forever because he doesn't earn targets and he's old. Why would Sutton have been a part of my plans? But regardless, this would be my first choice if I had any Sutton to sell. The next I thought was interesting. Courtland Sutton and Patrick Mahomes for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, to me, in a superflex is worth a lot more than Patrick Mahomes. I like them both. I don't think Sutton makes up that difference. So I would take Lamar here easily. And then the last one makes no sense to me. Courtland Sutton for DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's a better player. He's 2 years younger. I have him ranked higher in redraft. I don't understand. So I would do this, obviously, and take DK Metcalf without a second thought. So those are some options to move on from Courtland Sutton. Now, next player, Cam Skattebo. So my Giants, obviously, I'm a Giants fan. So I loved him as a value pick for the real life Giants. We don't want to get confused. I liked him pre-draft as a prospect. I did. We have to be careful not to conflate sell with I hate him. I don't hate him. He was just overvalued in the rookie process. And now he's even more overvalued, actually. So he had a long college career. He played 3 years at Sacramento State, starting with the 2020 COVID year, and then 2 years in 2021, 2022. Transferred to Arizona State for 2023. And then At age 21, this is what he did. 164 carries, 783 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4.8 yards a carry, 24 catches, 286-yard touchdown. That's not exciting. That's not getting you drafted in anywhere high, late round pick at best. So he comes back, obviously, and in his last year, he's good. He's really good. 293 carries, 1,711 yards, 21 touchdowns, 5.8 yards per carry, 45 catches, 605 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, that's a big year, big final year. I will say, though, I'm concerned. I am concerned that the only workhorse year against real competition comes at age 22 in college season number 5, and that's a big red flag. And the NFL saw that Skattebo had a lot of red flags. I thought he should go in the 3rd round. He didn't. He went in the 4th round. The NFL rejected him for the first 3 rounds. That is a big negative. Every team, a lot of teams needed running back. A lot of teams rejected him. So, why is he a dynasty sell? Couple of reasons. One, I think the backfield is going to be split. I hear this silly narrative from people that, well, Brian Daboll, he just doesn't split the backfield. He doesn't do that. Oh, he doesn't do that. I mean, for his first 2 years as the Giants coach, he had Saquon Barkley as his running back. Would you expect that backfield to be split or not? Probably not, right? You would expect Saquon Barkley to get the majority of the touches. So that is a different situation from what you're facing now. Last year, Devin Singletary was awful. Absolutely awful. And I understand why he was benched. And then when Tyrone Tracy fumbled, he was punished and benched. That doesn't mean that Brian Daboll is not going to split the backfield. That means that he hated both of those players at times last year and rotated. This is a narrative. This is not real. Could be different this year with different personnel. Why do I think that? We have to look at Tracy. Was Tracy great last year? No, he was not great. 192 carries, 839 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4.4 yards a carry, which is not bad on a bad offense. 38 catches for 284 yards and a touchdown. He was a converted wide receiver. We have to remember that. Now, for a converted wide receiver, would I like to see him do a little bit better in the receiving game? Yeah. It's not the most efficient. Certainly not the most catches we could have seen. Struggled with fumbles. And he really didn't do well in yards after contact. A lot of this came before contact. So overall, he was a fine player. Fine veteran player. Probably more of a 1B at the NFL level. But he's not bad. He's not a bad player. Now, the Giants win total is 5.5 with most of the money favoring the under. Talked about that. I think, again, the idea that Cam Skattebo, who went in the 4th round, is just going to remove Tyrone Tracy from existence is unlikely. I doubt it. So the Giants are not going to be very good. I think there's going to be a committee. They're going to be playing from behind. They're not going to have a lot of rushing touchdown opportunities. And the worst thing, the thing that scares me the most, is that they could have a new head coach. I think that's very likely. And a new general manager in 2026. So if that happens, the Giants are bad, like Vegas says. Where's the commitment to Tracy or Skattebo? So you have to hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying go and buy Tyrone Tracy. I'm saying I don't like these players, either of them. I don't like them at their current cost. Skattebo's just more expensive. So I like him less at cost. But I don't want Tracy either. So how do you get rid of him? There are some ways. I have a few ideas. A couple of seconds would be the best way. But there are some other ideas. Cam Skattebo and Christian Kirk for Chris Olave. I'm sorry, but this is not realistic, like in terms of value. Maybe it is. I don't know. But to me, Chris Olave is worth a lot more. Chris Olave has been a very good wide receiver in terms of yards per route run every time he's played in the NFL. Cam Skattebo is a 4th-round running back, and Christian Kirk is a nobody. This is not close. The next one, for Jaden Reed. Again, Jaden Reed is a good, relatively young wide receiver. He's worth more than Cam Skattebo. This is silly to me. And then the last one, I love this one actually. Cam Skattebo, Quinshon Judkins, Dante Thornton, and Sam Darnold for Jordan Love in a 12-team Superflex. I would love to get rid of Judkins, capitalize on the hype of Thornton, capitalize on the hype of Skattebo, do all of that, get rid of this, do a 4-for-1, and turn all of this into Jordan Love in a Superflex, who's a franchise quarterback who I absolutely believe in. But Sam Darnold is a maybe that I'm not so sure about. So I would love to do this. So this would be a huge win for me and a great way to sell Cam Skattebo. Many options, but this is just one of them that I would do. Now, if you like my YouTube content, you should sign up for the Patreon. I'm offering a 50% discount off your first month at all tiers using code TylerYT50. Click on the link in the top right corner, patreon.com/fantasy advice. You can sign up there. You can get all my rankings, access to Discord, write-ups, Patreon-only videos, direct message fantasy advice, and the ability to ask in advance questions for the YouTube videos. Here's beginning at just $5 a month, $250 with the discount. If you want to know more about the Patreon, check out my Why You Should Join the Patreon videos on the channel. They're on the homepage under Patreon promos. And again, I'm going to emphasize this. I am continuing to do the Dynasty content on the YouTube. We are getting into redraft season. We are getting into start-sit season. Those will not be covered on here. They will not be covered in the YouTube comments. They will not be covered on Twitter. I will only be covering those things on the Patreon. I'm there every day. I'm helping you every day. I promise it's a value. And if I can't convince you with that argument, I get it. Some people think, there's no value to it. If you like the existence of independent content, the only way to keep that existing is by supporting with the Patreon. Otherwise, the fantasy content space will consist of AI corporate-backed slop like what we're seeing from a lot of the big websites, what they're doing now, firing their writers, firing their content creators, and replacing them with AI that produces misinformed, incomplete, and incorrect content because there's just no, they're not being punished for that. So that's what you'll get if you don't support independent creators. So I'm just saying I would appreciate it if you joined the Patreon to support this high quality, non-AI created, human created, independent, non-corporate backed content. With that said, I'll move into my next sell. Now, my final sell for today, Mark Andrews, and this is coming up because of the Isaiah Likely news. Likely has a fractured foot, needs surgery. Going to rule him out for at least 6 weeks. And we know foot injuries are awful. Remember that return to play and return to performance are not the same thing. Isaiah Likely is not going to be 100% anytime soon, and probably for a majority of the season. He might play, doesn't mean he's going to be 100%, doesn't mean he's going to have a full workload, doesn't mean he's going to have a full snap share. He's not going to have any of those things. So what that means is Andrews is going to be the only relevant tight end for the Ravens, at least to open 2025 anytime soon. So last year, Andrews was not great. 55 catches, 673 yards, 11 touchdowns, 69 targets, 3.2 catches, and 39.6 yards a game. The 11 touchdowns kept him afloat. It was a career high. He had a low in catches and yards per game, far below any season since his 2018 rookie year. Now, even despite that massive amount of touchdowns, he still only averaged 11.1 PPR points a game, 7th among tight ends. It wasn't all that great. Now, why do I have him as Dynasty sell? Well, there's a lot of problems. Number one, the targets, 15.3% target share and 23.6% target rate, 18th among tight ends each. Not good. Not good. And it's not a tight end we want to target. The 15.3% target share is really bad. And he played all the games. These are abysmal numbers. They are. A lot of people say, well, he's not in decline. He is in decline. He is in decline. And if you're not seeing that, you're just looking at the fantasy points. He is in decline. Now, we are going to hear this a lot. I guarantee you're going to hear this on the redraft shows. Andrews had 6 catches, 68 yards, a touchdown, 7 targets with 94% route rate and 87.3% snap share in the one game Isaiah Likely missed in 2024. And that's true. Represented a season high in catches, yards, snaps, and routes. It's true. I think it will be a bit overdone. I think some people will think this production is what you're going to get all year. Andrews didn't average this production or playing time in his healthy games in 2023. He's only been over 5 catches or 57 yards a game once in his career in 2021, and that was the year that Lamar got hurt and the Ravens suddenly became a high passing offense. That's not going to happen again. So he's never matched this type of average, but you can hear this number. You're going to hear these numbers, this one game sample, as if Andrews is going to be able to play a 87% snap share and 94% route rate ever. And spoiler, not going to happen. That's not anywhere near his career averages. Even when there was no Isaiah Likely, he didn't play this much. So we cannot count on this. Now, one thing I definitely think this is not going to change is the Ravens' 2026 plans. Let's be honest. Both Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews are free agents after this year. Both their contracts are up. The Ravens are not going to be able to keep both. They're not going to be able to pay Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely what they want in terms of contract. That's not going to happen. So I think they were negotiating a contract extension with Isaiah Likely before this injury. It was widely reported, talked about a lot. I'm not saying they were close to signing it, but they were negotiating it. Their plan was to re-sign Isaiah Likely, keep them both for this year, let Mark Andrews go, and focus on Likely. That was their plan. I don't think this foot injury, where Likely is going to still play a majority of the year, even if not at 100%, is going to change their 2026 plans to keep Likely and move on from Andrews. I don't think that that's going to change. And if that's not going to change, then now is the time to move. Now is the time to move and capitalize on this situation. So the first deal I saw, you get 26 second and Terrence Ferguson. I kind of like Terrence Ferguson, but I'm not even sure Mark Andrews is worth a 26 second. Like, there's just been nothing. There's nothing there in terms of targets. So for me, this is an easy one. This one, 27 first, that's not happening in most leagues, but it was in there. So you never know. You have to add a second to Mark Andrews to get the first. I would do it, but that's not realistic in most leagues. And then the last one, Mark Andrews and Chuba Hubbard for Emeka Egbuka in 26. I believe in Emeka Egbuka to be a valuable dynasty asset. So I would do this easily without a second thought. So I would be happy to sell Mark Andrews for any of these prices. So in one piece of news, Zack Moss was released by the Bengals today. Moss had a neck injury that had hampered him since the middle of 2024. He was never going to challenge for a role on this team. On the Patreon, I had talked about Zack Moss for the last 2 months. And I said that Zack Moss was the RB4 on this team. I've had this depth chart. Chase Brown, RB1. Taj Brooks, RB2. Samaje Perine, RB3. Maybe mixing in on some third downs for 2 months or more. It was really a question of would they keep a fourth running back in Moss or not and only keep 3? The answer is now they're going to keep 3. So I've had it this way forever. Moss had no value to me at all. And again, if you were a patron, you would know that I've been talking about this for the last 2 months. So Moss's release, again, did not change my ranking of Chase Brown, but it might help in selling him. Might get some extra hype going. So if you're looking to sell Chase Brown, maybe Taj Brooks, you may be able to do that now more easily. Who knows? Sometimes people, just moves things along. But again, it didn't actually change my ranking of these players because to me, Moss was already gone. And, if you were a patron, you'd know that. So we'll do a few Patreon questions and then we'll wrap up the show. Does CMC still have league-winning upside, or do you think those days are over? Oh, I think he still does. I mean, we've seen that when CMC is healthy, he gets all of the touches. The 49ers offense, the 49ers are a high win total team. They're expected to be good. So, yes, I do think the league-winning upside is there. But I do also think one more injury, one more problem, and CMC's dynasty value is gone. So you have to keep that in mind when valuing CMC for dynasty. How are you able to keep dynasty values from corrupting your redraft views and vice versa? I don't find this to be an issue, honestly. Dynasty and redraft are completely separate games. I just keep them separate in my brain. To me, this is a total non-issue. So I've never seen this as a problem. So I guess I just keep them separate. I don't really know how to answer that other than keeping them separate. How do you consume football on game days? Flip between a bunch of games or shuttle on a specific match for each time slot? Someone asked me if I watched the Giants in the fetal position. It would be a good way to watch the Giants. No, I mean, I like watching a lot of Red Zone. I mean, obviously you can't watch every single game at the same time. I don't have 10 TVs, but Yeah, I mean, I like watching a lot of Red Zone, although they better keep those ads out of Red Zone. That was pissing me off last year. But yeah, a lot of Red Zone, island games. Pretty much what you would think. Last one. Any contract recently stood out to you as a massive overpay on offense or defense, and any contract an underpay? Well, I mean, an overpay, Brandon Ayuk, Deshaun Watson. Those are the two big offenders, I think, right now in terms of an overpay. In terms of an underpay, Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney was a great value for what he signed for the Falcons. Yeah, I mean that's a massive value. Baker Mayfield's contract. Baker Mayfield has been a big value on the previous extension, so that was definitely a value. Big underpay there. I'm not going to get into defense, but those are some of the offense examples of contracts. It just goes to show. I mean, hard to know what a contract's going to be value wise when you sign it, but yeah, I mean, signing veterans to undervalued contracts is how good teams stay good. So, although that hasn't really paid off for the Falcons in that case because they've made a lot of other mistakes, but topic for another day. If you like the video, make sure to support the channel by subscribing, and don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you can be notified about all my exciting content as it drops. Of course, if you want my best fantasy football advice, it's available on the Patreon. Dynasty and other fantasy football content year-round. 50% discount at all tiers using the code TylerYT50. You can click on the link in the top right corner, patreon.com/fantasy advice to sign up. Every sign up helps support my independent, non-AI slop created content, human created content that I'm doing here. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.